I'm going to kick off again with some phenomenal goal-kicking accuracy, impressive ball movement, speed, pressure, and class. The Hawks delivered a strong performance at the G in front of a black and yellow-dominated crowd. The trouble was it was sustained for almost 3 quarters against Richmond before the Tigers peppered the goal face in the dying moments. And as we ended that third stanza, it caused a few nerves amongst the Hawthorn fans, and I was one of them. As we searched for another 2 or 3 goals to seal the deal, the Tigers' roar got louder and louder, and their belief was unwavering. And sadly, the Hawks were run down and taught a few valuable lessons. Before we crack in tonight with Daz, we're glad you're with us, but our thoughts are with Lucy Wales, our beloved young ruck in the AFLW team, and her family. They've had some unfortunate news, and their son and brother Cameron had an accident while in Europe. Cameron's spinal injury means he's unable to move from the waist down and also lost movement in his hands. For a 21-year-old, this is devastating, and our thoughts are with him and his family. And while the family has asked for your prayers, Christine Russell, Cameron's auntie, has started a GoFundMe page to raise $250,000. They're over $170,000 towards that target, and this will be to ease the financial burden for Cameron for hospitalisation, rehabilitation, but also his new life beyond the devastating injury. So we will include the link to the GoFundMe page in this live stream, but check it out. It's on a lot of the Hawthorn players, men's and women's socials at the moment. If you're in a position to help, please do. As we are the family club, and this is really sad and devastating. So thoughts are there. But we shall jump in tonight and have a look at this game that was, and look forward to the game against the Saints. Daz, all right.
Couldn't agree more, mate.
I was at the game. I was with a Richmond supporter, good mate. It was right near the bench. Fascinating few insights. Being there front and centre, paying a lot of attention to on-ground communications and the like, and got a few thoughts and suggestions, but why don't you tell those that may not have joined us here who we are, what we're all about?
Yeah, well, we are obviously Talking Hawks, which is why you've clicked onto us. We hope connecting Hawthorn fans from all around the globe, not just to each other, but to the club itself. We're the best footy club in the land with the best fans, and that is why we want everyone to get not around just only us, mate, but this mighty footy club as we trek towards premiership number 14. Plenty of awesome comments flooding in already. Chris mentioning that I jinxed us. I don't remember how, Chris, but I'll own it. I'll move on. I've had to sit in the Hall of Mirrors over the weekend, Chris, and I assure you I've taken a good hard look at myself, and it won't happen again. So mistakes that happen once, mate, are lessons, and twice is a pattern, and I'm not going to let it happen again. But yeah, not a fun afternoon, mate. 37 points up, thinking we were golden even at 3/4 time, thinking if we kick the first, we're home. Could have kicked one and we would have been home. Did not come. Got beaten by an experienced side with plenty of belief and the knowledge that in 12 months' time we'll win those games. Doesn't really take away the pain that still somewhat exists at the moment, considering I've got some pretty close people in my life that are Richmond fans and are extremely happy with themselves. So, yeah, not fun, but hopefully character building in this group.
A bit of everything, didn't it, this game? It's you're from the rucks to the goal kicking accuracy was just sublime, and I don't have any record of it, but
3-13 in the first half at Marvel, but sure, we can kick 15-6, whatever it was at the G. Why not? Absolutely, why not?
So the AFLW team, they can have Marvel for a bit, and we'll boycott it if that's okay.
Well, Damien Hardwick did, so why can't we?
But look, Brucey, Chad, a few moments, just moments, and you can't put it down to moments, but it takes a whole effort from a team to get a result. And look, I was fascinated. Somebody's already mentioned. It was Tommy. So welcome all the regulars. Great to have you for your first time here. Welcome aboard. Tommy's loving Frost in the ruck. I thought he gave us
it's almost like because he produced more on the ground, which is what you need your ruckman to do. Tick. I like that, Frosty.
It's interesting. The dynamics. Just watching, I was fascinated to see how much, with Soldo once he got that big tackle. Sad for Nettie, but it was good to see him making the efforts. Certainly an unfortunate one there, but costly. What does it look like for our midfield when we're not maybe getting the supply? I think we did really well again for majority of the game, other than that fourth. Did you have any stats? Actually, your stat before I go there on the midfield. What did you say we'd kicked since the round prior? Was it 24?
Yeah, so since halftime, or I don't remember who it was who kicked our last behind in the first half against Marvel, but from halftime of the North game to we sit here right now, we've kicked 24 goals, 5.
Not bad.
Handy.
Not bad. I don't think there'd be too many teams.
Gunners in 2013 written all over it. I like
it. It's almost a bit of Brucey back in the day, wasn't it? How many did he get straight for lockup?
26 or something.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, the stats in that fourth quarter, the midfield. I'm interested, fans. What did you see? What, like, as we transitioned into that little. Look, we didn't put the cue in their act. Sam Mitchell said it well at the end of the game, touching on we tried to be offensive. We thought we just need to get a few more scores, and then we decided to go defensive. And maybe I'm guessing that was after about 10 minutes. How did you see it? That fourth quarter, that onslaught we got.
Yeah, I mean, the damn ball broke and stopping momentum is something that the Hawks have struggled to do. I mean, if you take West Coast out, because West Coast are obviously the outliers and the reason that averages and even the Coleman medal might be decided this year with Curnow and Taylor Walker, but we've conceded the most 5+ goal stretches in a row, take out the Eagles. So the onslaught I don't want to say wasn't surprising because it sounds extremely harsh, but we don't have the ability yet to wrestle momentum back from teams, because when we've got momentum, and we saw it for 3 quarters on the weekend, mate, we looked unreal. It was awesome. The youth, the spring, the run, the Chad was back, just decided to put on an absolute masterclass. It was insane. And then Richmond got a little bit of momentum, I thought, even in that third quarter, and it wasn't converting to scores really. Rewalt missed from the goal square and, 2 spots that he would have kicked from anywhere. And Ryan Mansell, the man with the name who spelt wrong, missed from like 40 out on a 40-degree angle where he normally would slot it. And you just thought to yourself, they've let it go. It reminded me, I think it was 2020 when Tom Lynch got a 50-meter penalty and missed from the goal square, slammed it straight into the post. And if he had to kick that, they probably would have overrun us in that game as well. It threw me back to that game. And we just needed that one more. I know Punky missed. I think Chad had a moment as well. I think it was Tyler Brockman who chipped into the middle, missed a target, and Daniel Rioli, the only time that he was let off the fin chain, killed us from the other end. It was just, it's just the little things that once they compounded, we couldn't stop it.
Yeah, that's a great summary. And
can't say that was a good result, but okay.
I can see it for where we're at. Having seen us go from the bottom to the top and the bottom, here we are. Here we come again. I saw it with some good perspective. There's little things. It's just some little things would have made a big difference. It's just that compounding effect. I was staggered watching Scrimshaw in that fourth quarter. He was gassed. There was times where he was just, it was just rolling the legs over a walk. He was. I'm like, and we've got DGB on the bench, and okay, I understand. Tough when we just need something, and the situational stuff. Kerry's touched on it here, but to hear Sam straight after the match talking about the situational training, and there comes a time when you need to start doing that, and that's actually a really good sign of our progress. I think you had a nice, might have been a pod where you're talking about just Collingwood, and they practice it, and now look at them. And I heard McRae talk. I think it was today or yesterday, just about the at the end of training last week, they only practiced with 6 minutes, but it was simulating, and they've done it again. Come from behind. How do we do it? I only spend a few minutes a session on it. Phenomenal.
But quality practice beats quantity practice, mate. 6 minutes of perfect simulation will beat an hour of mucking around, as they say. But 13 of their last 33 games, Collingwood have won by under a kick. Or in single digits, I should say. Extraordinary. And it's the next step. We understand that. But I think most Hawthorn fans are going to be upset about is the seeming mistakes of the day were by the experienced guys. So I don't really have a problem with Josh Weddle. Yes, congratulations, Sam. Your Richmond team won. Boy, didn't I cop it. I was vocal for 3/4, so I deserve it. It's fine.
You were vocal after too, mate.
But the only young Hawk that I can remember making a critical mistake after the Brockman kick was maybe Josh Weddle after a chain of handballs, chucked the ball onto his left, and I think found Timmy Taranto about 45 out, and he'll learn from that. But as you know, fans are bringing up and all that, the Bruce miss, and I think it was Jarman Impey and someone else with that Brockman kick kind of looked at each other a little bit and let Dan Rioli hit that pocket. With such a young side, you just hope that your veterans are the ones that could potentially carry you across the line to these wins. It didn't happen on the weekend. I think that's what burns so much. The youngsters are actually okay. Okay, sure, mistake here or there, youthful exuberance is fine.
Yeah. Well, even Nash, it's just that punch towards coming over the top of Day at the end there. If that gets fisted the wrong way, towards the boundary, and Liam covered it nice in the 6 points, it's a different result potentially. So it's so many little things, but lots of silver linings. Maybe it is goal of the year.
It isn't.
No.
Nope.
All
Will
right,
Ashcroft or Michael Walters.
Oh, actually, that was the Ashcroft in the air. Was that the one?
Yep. Yeah. Daniel Wells, but from the pocket. Yep.
There we go. Sicily continues to be out.
Agreed. Can you believe people don't have him in their All-Australian teams right now? Ridiculous.
You can take a number and get your head checked over there if that's you.
Absolutely.
So I was surprised with just the slowing down. We did get some good, Burge just really did give them a great preseason. I was surprised we got. I'm wondering how much of that is mental versus physical. Sometimes the body, as you're dropping your the mindset, just the body doesn't continue to give, and they were up and about. So silver lining here, Peter. Will Day, I think he did really well down back.
I want to defend him here. I don't know if anyone here watches. It is his 50th game, Julian. What a start it's been, and hopefully continues. The round so far with Riley Beveridge and Kane Corns, and I disagree with a lot of Hawthorn fans. I think Kane's probably been the media person that's gotten Hawthorn the most correct over the last half decade. Think of that what you will. Tim Taranto is not the 151st best player in the competition, so I don't think I agree with everything that Kane says. But that show highlighted why Liam Baker was in so much space. And the reason is because he thought it was a ball up originally before I think Cochin got the ball out. And he went to drop as the spare man behind the ball. Yep. So he turned around. His back is to the contest. And he starts walking out of the 50 until obviously he hears the kerfuffle because the ball's come out, turns around, realizes he's in space, reads the crumb and snaps the goal. So it's just, I know there's luck and skill in this game, and, should Will have punched it to a different spot? All that can be discussed. But at the end of the day, it was an ironically incredible way that Liam Baker got free. I hate that I love Liam Baker so much as a footy fan, and that really annoys me. But I hope it hurts without being too critical, because like you say, this is a team that won 3 flags, and their last one was only 3 seasons ago, and they're still in the finals hunt. We did everything right for 110 out of 120 minutes. It still sucks, but I hope we can draw the line between it constructively hurts and then just simply, attacking blokes for a moment here or a moment there. We'll get better from it. Of course we will. Have you seen our coach? Jeepers.
With I think it was the 6 points. Timmy or Liam might have mentioned it there, but 14 or 16 premiership players in that Tigers team versus our one. So lots to come. What was interesting, and I'm going to jump off this one, Josh. Yes, the oh, look, it was fascinating. And with my Tigers mate at the ground before the game, sort of, what are you thinking this game? What are you thinking? I said, honestly, we could pip you, or Tigers could blow us away. I actually didn't even know which way it's going to go. And as it turned out, one of those results. But I said, do you know what? It's a bit of a danger game, though, because Sam Mitchell would have been saying, this is potentially season defining for the Tigers. It's like a finals. And by that fourth quarter, it was so loud in there. That was basically, would have been a finals atmosphere for our boys on the ground. And the ones that do hurt, as you say, constructively, let's hope that sticks with a few of them, and they'll use it as motivation, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
I agree. I don't know what that's got to do with the free kick comment that came up, but I agree.
Sorry.
It was it was. But
let me tie it in.
I'll answer. It's okay. I'll answer. It's fine. I agree. Hawthorn fan, Hawthorn bias. I had the jumper on and I think a beanie. That last quarter was horrific, mate. How Sicily didn't get pinged for flinging Jack Rewalt nearly into the car park for that mark there. There was a couple of too highs. I mean, it was extraordinary, and I know Hawks fans will freak out over this, but
the intentional out of bounds when it was awarded to us, you just felt it build in the fans. Like the Tigers were like, I'm like, well, look, as long as they call it consistently, and it just so happened they pretty much did, and it was against the Tigers at the time, and it built up, and it pent up, and it came out with a plump. So anyway, all right, let's go back to the fans here. They're smashing the keyboard here. I'm not keeping up, or
oh, mate, welcome to me last week. It was extraordinary. I loved it.
I enjoyed watching you do your best. I reckon I'm struggling more than you were, though. So is this a biggie? Sicily having some words? I think.
Yeah, didn't like it.
Okay.
Do you know how bad in the last 10 weeks you have to talk to an umpire to not get dissent? Like Jack Rewalt. In one of the ones that wasn't paid to us, the only thing in that last quarter that didn't go our way, Jack was going off his head without the gesture. So his hands were like here, and he's just, the anger's here. So the gesticulation wasn't, obnoxious or anything like that. I don't know what Sicily said, but we know that it has crossed that umpire's line, because apart from like 2 weeks early in the year, I know it cost GWS a game with Stephen Canelio. Since then, dissent had barely been paid, or if it was the one game a weekend I wasn't watching, which is extraordinary luck from my end. So, yeah, I agree. Didn't like it. Not a good look. And as a captain, you've got to do better. It's as simple as that.
Look, a lot's asked. It needs character and restraint. And I wonder if he was just hoping to push that line and get a point across. I don't know whether it was too far. He was absolutely roughed up so many times earlier in the game. They were really trying to get under his skin. So, again, can that be down to his fellow players not getting around him? And we should know well and truly by now that this is pretty much one of the number one, if not the target for every opposition coming into a team. So coming into play.
How much dissent do you reckon Dermy would have given back in the day? I don't reckon the Hawks would have touched the footy.
Yeah, he would have written the definition in the dictionary. We'll find it anyway. So, all right. Wayne, Daz has got the fine jar. You can.
Yep, $1 a minute, Wayno. So that's 18 to the kitty. Thank you. He's a good man.
Kerry's got some raps for Finn again. Absolutely. Just he put in I think a really solid effort against a big opponent. So
had 4 kicks in 3 quarters. As a tagging job, tick. I have no idea why we didn't continue it in the last quarter. I think Rioli had 10 in the last quarter, and Finn just wasn't on him. I don't know whether it was fitness-based, but Finn is a fitness freak. Try saying that 5 times really fast, just quietly. But I don't know why he didn't go with him in that last quarter, and they had more meters gained out of their back half in that last quarter than they had for the 2 quarters before it. I don't see that as a coincidence. I really don't.
Yeah. All right. We've got a few saving for laters coming through, so I am wading through.
It's a dangerous game, saving them for later.
All right. Watch it for a minute. One thing that I was noticing, and I would love the Hawthorn Football Club to address this. I have sat right near the players' dugout on a number of occasions. The fellow on the sign does a great job, no doubt. We have a manual sign, and our boys go hoarse trying to yell to other players to call subs. I don't know why we don't. I reckon would have a louder voice than some of the boys on the bench. We need to do something about that. That's a very, very easy thing to make a change. And the Tigers, meanwhile, have got the digital board. There's no time wasting. It's just efficient. But anyway, another observation near the bench, small things. In that last quarter, I was just fascinated to try and watch the communication as the players were coming off and on the ground, watch the coaches, watch Colo. The message seemed to be, I was like, is it slow? Is it calm down? Like that, sorry. Just saw this repeatedly. And it was just like, control it, maybe. I think by the end, it was just the first 10 minutes, it was that. It was try and control it, obviously set up. But again, just that message and communication, how well does it get across? I didn't see a whole lot of calm necessarily, but it was, a lot was going on at that point in time. But really simple thing like that, just getting that communication. And that's a little bit on field, the ability of someone keeping that eye on the bench and getting that message through, whether it is to the other side of the field or not, and lightning fast, but knowing each other so that they really are looking out for each other and getting that message as quickly as possible. So it might have made a difference. Anyway.
Third loss this year by under a kick, though. It's not good. It's not great. It's going to cost Adelaide a final spot. They're in the same boat. Did it twice to Collingwood, now against Melbourne. Should have done it against us if Isaac Rankin wasn't in the 6th row of the Tasmanian pocket, but that's another story for another day. But it's going to cost them a final spot, next stage of the development for sure.
Imagine being 3 more wins up the ladder. Yes, be interesting.
No, that's all right. North would get 8 more draft picks and we'd still get screwed, so it's fine. There
we go. That's right to you, Daz, on this one.
Where?
I reckon it's hard to call at this point in time, but what do you reckon?
Definitely defensive half of the ground for sure. Just let the kid run. I know a lot of media commentary are calling him Nick Blakey Jr. or reminds them of Nick Blakey, et cetera, et cetera. For me, he's young Frosty. That's what it's like. The legs and the arms go. He's got that gait where the head goes as well, which is great. Sam Frost has that when he takes off as well, which is something that I find a little bit funny. Better kick than Frosty, and I reckon he'll go further, but he's got that Frosty Jr. about him. Not ready to take on the key forwards yet. I don't know if that's going to be his role moving forward, but I think he and Sicily, one is our the way that I'd relate it is you think like Daniel Rich as that kicker, as Sicily would be our kicking intercept player, and they've got guys like Kitty Coleman who they want it to run out of the D50, and I think that's what he'll do as well, and Seamus Mitchell can do both. So intercepting defender with a license to run, I think.
Is that a little bit, are you of the school that training someone behind the ball down defensive is a good place to start?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, you look at someone like Nick Dacos, won the rising star by playing in a back pocket, essentially, and he was able to move up the ground, and he's going to win a Brownlow at 20 years old. So pretty good blueprint to begin with, I reckon. So, yeah, behind the ball, let the game come to you rather than you go to the game, for sure.
Yeah. I like still seeing him thrown around a bit. I just think use that energy, use that speed. You're seeing Frosty. Maybe Frosty should grow the hair out a little bit. See if he can
not too late for the mullet, you reckon, for Frosty?
bit of Twin Towers down back. Anyway, so we have got. I'm trying to keep us before we digress on too many things. All right. Anything else from you, Daz, on this game? Because let's overlook Tom, I don't know that I can agree with you here.
Mate, he is going to sit on Jack Sinclair on Sunday, and he is going to absolutely clamp him.
Would you have any problems with that, Tom? I think it sounds like...
Come on, Tommy, talk to me.
All right. A bit of conversation around DGB. Maybe West. Be interesting to watch what happens come the end of the year. I think he's pretty happy from what I understand. Here we go. Yeah, McGuinness on Sinclair.
Yep.
All right. I think we're going to, I'm slowly catching up, Papes. Bear with me. I think we've had, whilst we're doing that, Daz, do you want to just let the fans know about, I haven't heard about where they can find Talking Hawks and some of our class work, because Smitty has been absolutely on fire with his articles, and the fans are absolutely engaging like we've not seen.
Yeah, absolutely. So Smithy, I hope he's all right with me saying this, but he's acts like a 55-year-old Smithy. He's already in bed. It's 8:30, so he's not listening at the moment. He'll watch it back, and then he can yell at me. That's fine. But he went and played a senior game of footy about 3 weeks ago in the howling wind, pouring rain, and I think he realised that the footy was done for him from a playing capacity, and he got the written bug again. Wrote the Brody Grundy article. Brody Grundy article. Yeah, I said that right, over at talkinghawks.com. And then he ranked 5 key forwards around the competition that might be of interest to the Hawks, solving a centre-half forward problem, seeming as it is unlikely with the current draft hand that the Hawks will be able to do that. Now, could the Hawks develop the draft hand that we could solve that problem? Well, that's going to be an article for Dazzling coming out in a few days, so I won't spoil that here. But, yeah, talkinghawks.com, where you can get all your written articles. But if you follow us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter especially, you'll be able to get the links to all of those. But go check out talkinghawks.com anyway, because you're also going to see the player sponsorship link there where you can get involved and help sponsor Denver, Jai, and Jasmine Fleming, as we're about 5 weeks away, I should say, from the AFLW season. And as someone that's currently living in the Bayside, and we've got 4 games here in Frankston, I am looking forward to it in a big, big way. So make sure you check it out for sure.
Beautiful. Well done. All right. I've caught up. I'm going to throw to 2 questions here. Joshua, any talk on Chad's form since returning from injury? And I agree, because these past 4 weeks have been great. I would have said borderline some of the best he's put together for consecutive weeks in the past few years.
Last 56 minutes of the game on Saturday, he didn't touch the footy.
All right, so 3.5 games.
He's been awesome. I'm not saying that to detract, and what a first half it was. I mean, all of us, whether you're a Chad lover, a Chad detractor, or wherever you sit on that spectrum, if your jaw wasn't on the floor after that first half, I mean, I can't help you. That's just a level of negativity that I struggle to comprehend. But he kicked that goal in the third quarter where he leapt over and did everything he could, twist, turn the other way. Someone brought the twister to the MCG and he decided to flex. After that, didn't touch the pill. That still is a problem for mine. But I agree with especially what the commentary was saying. If he did want to go around again, it would be a 1-year deal. And that would probably be it. But it might be up to Chad more than the club, really. It depends if he wants to play on again or not, I suppose.
Whilst Clarko and Sam have different views on things, I don't think Sam would have any, thoughts of 2 or 3 years. I think 1 year is pretty savvy for list management, and not that it's all Sam's calls, but the list managers do a great job. So we may realistically see quite a bit of, a number of list changes over the next year, 2, 3, as we really prepare for this next tilt. So the contracts are noticeably being kept relatively in line for some, and sort of, I guess you can read into that, particular players as you choose, but some have been extended longer term, which is great. Clearly they're part of the division. But next question from Jason, is Amon Recruit of the Year? I think the boys touched on this, and I'll let you, draw from the almanac that is Daz's brain. And
hard
the
to
boys
go past Dunkley. I think
right.
Hard to go past Josh Dunkley. He won a best and fairest of the Dogs, and then went to Brisbane and looked at Lachie Neale and went, well, don't have to carry this midfield, so that's a pretty good place to go. Isaac Rankin's been pretty good for the Crows. Tom Mitchell's been pretty good at the Pies, regardless of what we think about it. Trying to think of some more off the top of my head. I can't really think of too much more. He's definitely top 5 for sure, and he's a top 5 wingman in the comp as well. So it's a tick. Dacos, Goulden, and are definitely the true wingmen ahead of him. And, Nick Martin v. Carl Amon is a worthy of discussion. So I think at worst, he's the 4th best winger in the competition this year.
Well, and Tom's put some dollar signs. Yes, that's what we've dished out, but we had cap room, as Liam touched on in the 6 points as well. He's put in a phenomenal effort, and we didn't have to give up a whole lot at all. So
why does it matter so much? Like, honestly, like from a fan point of view, I'd love someone to explain this to me. Why does it matter? Like, we offered it to Carl. He doesn't necessarily like. What does, let's say it's 800 grand. What does 800,000 look like from a positional output? Would you pay 800 grand a year, considering the average wage in the AFL is 480? So less than half. So he's less than double the average wage in the AFL. He's top 5 in his position. That feels like a win for me. I don't know why money's used against players. It's one thing I like about American sport more than Aussie, is they love their sports stars making cash, and we in Australia hate it for some reason that I don't understand. But is a top 5 winger in the competition? You have to pay for top 5 talent. Tick, win. I'm cool with it. Love Carl.
Well, probably, I don't know, my guess. Anyway, all right. It's going draftwards in this conversation. Short and sharp. Well, all right, Daz.
Sava Radicalea, one of the Hawks after him. Do we need him? Don't know if the Hawks are after him, to be honest. Do we need him? I mean, need is a pretty strong word. He'd be pretty handy. Blank. Blank is the guy that you completely want to shut down. So if we're relying on Jimmy Blank to get 15 to 20 disposals, something's gone wrong. That's not his role. Asava will fly for everything, so we need to rely on our smaller defenders to be at the feet. So, you know, you think of your Dimmer Hardwicks and stuff. When Asava's in the air, you know, regardless of who we're playing, you know, the Papleys, Charlie Camerons, Toby Greens of the world, we really need our small defenders to be defending. I wouldn't mind Asava because I know he wouldn't cost us a lot. Remember, Geelong turned down pick 31, I think it was, from Port Adelaide last year. But considering he's even less in their 22, you know, that's that early or late second round pick probably does get it done, probably future. So we don't have to give up too many draft points for Will McCabe. But all these mock trade things, it's not annoying, but I think the gripe that I've got is when we say, oh, we'd give up, and I think our second pick in this draft's 32, so just roll with it. If I go, let's offer up pick 32, and then fans go, whoa, we need draft points for Will McCabe. Yes, we do. We can do that with other deals. It's not like it's just going to be this, and then we roll with it. So I know the draft point system is quite complicated, but the Hawks will have the draft points somehow to get Will McCabe. Okay, fans, relax. It's all good. But yes, Asava, would I have him? Yes, but I wouldn't give up a top 25 pick for him.
My question, and seeing him down at Box Hill, is a very, very big man, which is very handy down back, takes a great grab, and just was ragdolling, you know, opponents around him because he's such a strong beast of a man. I question his IQ, football IQ. So sometimes if you're well drilled, you don't necessarily need a whole lot of IQ, but if he'd need that really well around him to have him contributing, I think, the best that he could. So it would mean we'd be giving up one of our taller bigs at the moment, which we may do. So question on DGB, who I love, and the boys always get stuck into me in my passionate defending of Denver. And see this man's big smile. Look, the thoughts of him going west, as I can't see it, but things can change very quickly in this game because it is a business.
Yeah, spot on. It's I don't want it to make it seem like I'm on a crusade. I'm not here to get rid of Denver at all. I would love nothing more than for Denver to be a star. And structurally, yes, he was more important than his output, but his output didn't touch the footy. That's a problem. And I just think we've got to acknowledge that this is a guy that now that we're seeing Jamara, Logan McDonald, and some of the tools from that draft start to come on a bit, yeah, we can be a bit concerned. And if West Coast want him, it's not going to be cheap, but it's definitely not going to be this whole pick 3 Brockman and Denver for this pick 1 rubbish. I'm over it. I'm sick of it, Matty. Does my head in. West Coast would never take that deal. Let's move on.
And a little bit of the passion and the vision of Talking Hawks, you know, to get behind their players, ride out that career, get behind them. So that's where you find me front and center. And I am willing to be patient, see Denver over the next 2 and 3 seasons, put on that extra 10, 15 kilos, and who knows what we've got on our hands with the young man. So still believing for the best there. Who do we have? Barras, Tom Barras.
Going to Sydney.
Yep.
He's a Swan. He's got family there. They're talking to him. It's all good. No, it's not all good because I'd like him, but yes, he's going to Sydney. Sorry.
We won't see Max back. I think it's queuing the rack for the season. It's not official, but I would say that's where it stands. Harrison Jones as.
Yeah, it features in Smithy's article. I'd be stunned if Max Lynch plays senior footy again, to be honest. I have no inside word on that. It's just, I'm a Dolphins fan. Anyone that watches the NFL knows that the Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, got 3 concussions in the one season as well. So concussion's a big thing that's going on. And with the big boys, I don't know. I'm going to go down the line of we won't see him again. And if we do, no one will be happier than me. Harrison Jones, yeah, I disagree with Smithy a little bit. I don't think he's really an option. He's not ready-made, ready to go. I think if we're going to bring in someone we still need to develop, I mean, why wouldn't we do that internally and not give up an asset? That's just where I stand personally.
Crystal ball, one for everyone. Do you think Will McKay will be better than Luke McKay?
Comparing positions, eras. Luke was a very handy player. Yes, I believe that Will be. Jesus.
Tried to change the question for that reason. So look, we've got some interesting stakes with on the goal kicking front. Mitchie, Brewsty. Who would have thought Brewsty'd still be going? Gives us life when we need it, doesn't he? And just keeps enough pulse in a game. Sometimes, who do you see getting that? Fans, Daz, who's going to end up on top there, be the leading goal kicker for the season?
It sounds like I'm sitting on the fence, but if we don't give Mitch Lewis a second target, I mean, it's going to be punky because the ball's going to hit the ground more than Mitch's hands, but I'm going to back the big full forward to get it done quite nicely, which would be extraordinary considering he missed the first, 5 weeks? 5 or 6? About that.
It is phenomenal. Great effort. Absolutely. All right. We got Lewis for sure. Fabio says Warple will re-sign, take it to the bank. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty confident he will as well.
Yeah. All right. Let us change gears. I don't have it right in front of me, but the injuries, Daz, did you happen to cast an eye over that?
I actually had it up on my phone about 5 minutes before we started, mate. So
we've been powering along. Sorry for doing my best to keep up with everything here. So I think we've got, Marvel. It is Sunday against the Saints. I think it's a Hawthorn home game. Sadly, get along. Geez, after that Tigers game, I actually think we suck sometimes with our vocal support as a fan base. And I love the Hawks and I love the Hawthorn fans, but we're just something that other teams have over us is their ability to be vocal and supportive. Sometimes when it counts. Anyway, off the soapbox.
Bang! There we go.
Where does CJ sit? No, CJ is not in for this week. I do know that. Fabio hasn't come along as quickly as we hoped. Groin, I believe it is.
Yeah, we're looking all right on the injury front. On our injury list, we have 11 games. I'll start that again. We have 70 games of experience on our injury list, which is the second lowest in the league this week, behind Collingwood, who have 11 games of experience on their injury list, which is crazy. Tim for the Saints, Tim Membry and Jack Hayes are expected to come back. Anthony Caminiti is expected to miss. Dougal Howard is getting surgery on a fractured wrist, so that won't be happening. And the former Hawk, Bradley Hill, will not be playing as well. So a couple of senior players out for the Sainers, and I think Dougal Howard out. Mitch Lewis will just be licking those chops and hoping that the Hawks terrorising those wings, as we've seen on a couple of occasions at Marvel this year, can hopefully continue. And he could be in for a big, big bag. Let's hope.
Well, 110 Sunday. We pipped them last time by 10 points. Again, Marvel clashed that one. So
and it should have been 7 goals, Matty. Speaking of poor goal kicking, I don't know what it is at Marvel. Closed roof and we're adjusting for wind that isn't there. Come on, Hawks.
So look, with apart from Reeves out, you give Rammer a good chance to come in. He's back available, and Denver's probably won't be in. Who comes in for Denver? Daz?
I think Lloyd Meek comes in for Ned. I think he v Rowan Marshall is a nice matchup to match him round the ground, and Frost to be that chop out. I got no real qualm with that at all. If Denver is to miss, I mean, I think Ned Long deserves his chance in the 18, but yeah, good luck picking it. I love Ned Long as a player. I know you're a big Ned Long fan as well, Matty. But I think Cozzie's got to play. He just structurally is more important than what he delivers. And if he can deliver, say, 2 goals for us, tick.
Yep. No, since I laid eyes on Ned Long, he is an impressive and well, these ready-made boys that are 6'4", 5", and just ready to go physically. I just get super excited. I just can't wait to get games into him. So absolutely would love to see Ned start him on the ground, Sam. Come on.
Give the lad a run.
Mackenzie, good call from Jacob here. We're seeing Stevens as well, putting in some good numbers, hitting the scoreboard. Is Sarong close to a recall, asks Craig.
Don't think so.
I think it's 2 or 3 weeks off. I think Jack will be what we would see being injected into the lineup with Zane Littlejohn's write-up. He did say, just that focus towards the end of the season, but taking, I think it was 11 marks, 19, 20 odd possessions. I can't recall exactly. Did very well. And just stringing them together a few weeks in a row. I think we've got to see someone put into that spot in our forward and given pretty much the rest of the season. If Jack's ready, maybe not this week, but give him that last stint if it's him, or Cos, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's with me.
Yeah, but who do you take out?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's and let's be honest, did anyone have this level of midfield depth on their bingo card coming into round 1? I'll put my hand up. I didn't. If someone had told me at the start of round 1, Cam Mackenzie would be one of our most informed VFL mids and couldn't get a game, I'd have been astounded. And right now, there's just no spot for him because our midfield is doing beautifully.
Scrim did well in the first half.
Lost one one-on-one contest all day. Scrim. And I think he had 8. And I think he had 8 on the day. Good old champion data statistics. Only lost 1. So
look, he was back. It was the old Scrim, wasn't it? For the most part. All right, I think let's throw to it. Daz, whatever point you just made, you've made a few.
I'll just assume you mean all of it, Josh. All of it, 100% correct. I appreciate that.
Let's start to wrap it up. So your thoughts, everyone. Saints v Hawks. We don't know the lineups being a Sunday game, but what are your thoughts on the margin? Best on ground predictions. Any predictions? We want to hear all your thoughts. What needs to happen? Happy to just quickly meander with you here and have a quick look to see what you think we might need to do or who's bringing what.
It's incredible for mine, this one, because it's the other midfield depth. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that. You had a real good chance to just say, no, I meant all of it does, and I might have could have looked after you there, mate, but that's all right. The thing with
a gold plate and then just put it behind you for next time.
Yeah, the frame would have been empty next week, would have rocked up at Josh's house or something, but no, he's missed out, unfortunately, the great man. But the funny thing about the Saints at the moment is I feel like the exact same as I did the first time we played them, the Saints. Stop their outside. Jack Sinclair and Nazaya Wanganeen-Miller. Stop both of them from kicking the footy, and you're pretty much golden because King's not going to play. Caminiti unlikely to play. Membry will come back in. I love that from Andrew. You're guilty. And that's the way that we're going to do it. So both teams need to bounce back for different reasons. We lost the unlosable, and St Kilda nearly lost the unlosable against North. What an extraordinary result that could have been. I can see them lifting in a big, big way. I think we're going to have to come back from a quarter-time deficit. I reckon we can do so. Hawks by 20 for mine. I think Will Day. Oh, there we go. I agree with Shano. Pretty much bang on. Hawks by 20 odd. Will Day best on. And I think he's going to absolutely dominate in his 50th game, Big Wilbur. And I reckon he kicks the sealer as well.
Wouldn't we love to see that after, it would have been a tough week to swallow this one. Put it behind you in 24 hours is the go. But I like this prediction. Sam, Finn can, take it to the bank. There we go.
I think Sinclair's a better ball user, and that's why we tagged Rioli instead of Taranto. So I think he's going to go to Sinclair.
Yeah.
Sicily, another 10 intercept marks. Isn't it crazy how the start of this year, 2 players had taken 10 intercept marks in a game, and that's the record. 5 players this year have done it. No one's taken 11. It's extraordinary.
Change your game plan. Well, I'm going to have the Hawks. Yeah, it's going to be the redemption from last week, and it's going to be, on the ground maybe we don't like so much. And those.
Hey, we've won our last 2 there. What are you talking about? It's our new favourite.
Okay, well, maybe I don't like it so much.
There we go.
Traditionally, all right. So I'm a bit older than you, Dad, just a little bit. So I think the Hawks, I'm going to say it's a close one. I'm Hawks by 12. Everyone's persuaded me here. I've normally come in with my firm prediction, but seeing Lewis with 5, that came up so many times just then. I'm going to get on the wagon there.
Yes, I like it.
So sorry to copy you there, Dad, but Lewis with 5, and we will see him winning the goal kicking potentially at the end of the year if get a bit of form, big fella. And I just think Sicily again. It's that redemption. The Cap's going to take a the chip on the shoulder is going to come in a good way, and he's going to.
Let me put it this way: if Ross Lyon lets James Sicily take another 8+ intercept marks, they're cooked. That joint. Send them back to Seaford and let them play in the MP NFL and just fold them, because that would be ridiculous. Because you can lose by what you don't know, mate. You can't lose by what you know. Sis is going to do this. If you can't stop it, you're cooked.
There we go. It'll be interesting watching that. I know there's a lot of respect that Sam has for Rossi. So let's see how we go. All right, fans. It's been a big week, and sorry, the original throwback. There's a few questions on Dingley. I'll tell you what. Rather than talk about it too much tonight, we've been going for a little while. I might try and get Andy Gowers on. Just have a chat with Andy just to get it from someone at the coalface. Throw your thoughts. Who I know there's certain people. We're hearing different things with Caro and whatnot in the press. It's a big commitment. We want to be the biggest. We want to be the best club in the land, and this is a significant piece that could set us apart from the competition for decades to come. So, that's right or wrong. We're going to have different views as a family club, and maybe we'll get. What do you think? Do we need anyone else? I don't know to talk to it. There's a bit to play out.
Beyond my pay grade, mate. I just worry about the footy. That's me. That's my wheelhouse, and I'll stick to that.
Mate, you could have little ones running around Dingley one day, just cheering them on. It could be amazing.
Just jump on the Peninsula Link, mate. 25 minutes up the road, you're guilty.
Or your grandkids one day. Anyway. All right, fans.
Just aged 40 years then. One conversation. You're guilty. All righty.
It's been a good one. Thanks for joining us. And last thoughts again with the Wales family. I'm going to chuck that GoFundMe link in right now because I forgot to do that earlier. So check it out. We'll put it in the comments if you're on YouTube. And everyone, get to the ground. 110. Get behind the team. Let's make a lot of noise, and let's see if we can bring it home on Sunday. Daz, thanks for coming.
Agreed. Thanks, mate.
We'll see you again.